Paul, first of all then, fatigue and injury issues post-Bristol City. There were one or two hobbling off at the end, and Jai and McAtee, how are they today?
Yeah, hopefully they're all right. Obviously McAtee a big bang from that tackle. We've not done much today, but he's been out there and yeah, he'll shake it off. Illiman was cramp, so he'll be fine.
Doyle?
A little bit better today. So see, like I said, we weren't going to take any risks, so hopefully he makes it for Saturday. Bash as well came off. He just carrying a little bit of his hip flexor tightening up towards the end of the game, which it did the one before West Brom. So again, we brought him off rather than anything going long term. So yeah, hopefully he'll be fine as well. How
good was it to see Jack Robinson out there again? Because he brings an element of aggression to the team, doesn't he?
Yeah, I think probably you look at the second half in particular, it probably suited him, and it probably suited him where he is, because we had no plans to leave him on for 90, but with Bash tightening up, it's one of those calls. Does Kieran come on for Robbo, which was a plan, or shuffle about and bring Bash off? And Robbo said he was fine, so we left him on, and I think that suited him, you know, that although we didn't plan for the pattern of the game to be like that, it played into our hands a bit with Robbo, I think.
I was interested, I was saying to Ollie Norwood a few minutes ago about the kind of psychology of you guys getting that type of win, which had a fair old slice of luck about it, as opposed to either a resounding win or a professional win, a straightforward one. You all seem really delighted the fact that you'd got away with it, essentially, down there.
Yeah, like I say, I've not had that. So, yeah, different feeling. Yeah, different. Even the post-match was a little bit difficult for me, do you know what I mean? I didn't want to come across as... Because I've been in Nigel's position a lot there when he's sat in that one, and I know how that feels. And I've had that a lot, but not the other one. I weren't going to go in there and saying how brilliant. Well, there's certain parts of what we did that got the win, which are fantastic. The mentality, how we defended the box. As you say, the people playing out position against some people on the pitch. Seeing the game out for us to help us get the win. So all that stuff was top draw, and the mentality got us the win. But I couldn't sit there and say, oh, that was a game plan and how that was how we want to be and how we want to play. I couldn't say that. But like I always say, when we don't win, you sort of get what you deserve. There's a reason why you win and a reason why you lose.
Yeah, and you can't really even say to the players, right, same again, lads, because if they hit the post twice and Billy's slightly offside, it might not go your way.
Yeah, same again if you know it's going to be a 1-0, same again. But as I said, I think back to all those games. Listen, Stoke, as I said, we'd pick a totally different team, different shape, and I wouldn't do that again unless I 100% have to. But the other 5 games, we play like that, we'll win a lot more than we lose. I'm sure if we play like that the other night, you know, it's going to be a lot harder to win more than we lose. So, yeah, let's say it was just nice to get one of those, and it was like I said, reward for the hard work, the mentality of the boys and people, and that's why I was pleased for them. That's why I was pleased that we got the win.
Football's quite a conservative game sometimes, in the fact that you guys in the firing line, you're damned if you do or you don't, etc. So does it feel as though there was an element of bravery in making the change, in pulling Cadra off when you did to make the substitution?
I knew after a few minutes, and this is why I was at pains to stress that it's nothing to do with Reader. We only had, with Tommy being injured, we only had Flecky and Ollie that stood, were real recognised central midfielders, and I knew Flecky was going to struggle to last the game. So then where do you go with it? And likewise, I know Reader, when he's straight, if we're playing and we're passing the ball, so that was the idea. We had to be on top, we had to play well, then we get the best out of Illiman in that advanced role, and Reader threatening behind. We weren't, and I don't think there's anyone who you could say was playing well first half. So that resulted in us having to defend, and then we weren't set up in the right shape to press them and defend, because we had 3 players ahead of the ball all the time in his front 3, which made it tough. So it means that it's a stress on Reader, a stress on Bill, and a stress on Illiman. So we had to go to the midfield 3 and a 9 and a 10 to allow us to get out to their outside centre backs. Kept waiting, and listen, even though I know I was going to make the change, I was holding for something to change, but I'd have kicked myself if I hadn't have, just simply because we had to do it to get control of the game in some way, and if that means defending to win, you defend to win.
You addressed the substitution after the game, of course, but then said you were going to have another word with Reader. Has that happened? Because I mean, look, understandably,
only briefed him, but not a proper conversation. That'll be tomorrow, yeah.
Right. Because obviously it set off thoughts about where he's at in his Sheffield United career right now. And
he's at the same place he was before the game.
There's the belief, though, that it's just not working out for him for various different reasons. We know he's had injuries because he spoke about that after the Swansea win, and where he fits in here at Sheffield United in the team.
Same. I said nothing's changed because of that game. It was a purely tactical one. That's it. Nothing. That game's not changed anything.
Do you see him here for the season? Has he had maybe thoughts about going back if he's not getting regular first-team football?
Well, you'd have to ask him. He's here for us. We need him. We've seen we've got first-team players on the bench, outfield players. What do we have? 14? We need him, like I said. And I know I didn't put him in his best position in terms of that game. We had to be on top for us to see what we wanted from him, like the Blackburn game when we were on top and we had the possession, and then his job's to keep threatening behind and getting on the end of things slid down the sides. We had no control in the game with the ball, so that him not getting in those positions is not his fault. That was us giving the ball away too cheaply.
Have you seen? I'm sure you've read the comments of Nigel Pearson after
the match.
But
I've heard about him. Yeah.
Essentially, he said Reeder's high maintenance. Is he?
I don't know. I don't know where Nigel's worked with him before. He's been fine with us, no problem at all.
And that would seem odd, given that Sheffield United's dressing room is perhaps notoriously not high maintenance.
Yeah, no, honestly, Reeder's fine. I don't like that Nigel might have come across him elsewhere, but no issues whatsoever.
Burnley then next. How do you approach facing them?
Same way we do every game. We set up to try and win. We recognise what they're good at. Watching them again the other night. They're going till the end and getting the wins when it doesn't look like they're going to get them. So the confidence is going to be high. They've got a clear way they want to play, which is the strength, but it also means we know what to expect. Yeah, so that's how we prepare. We prepare to face them. We know their threats, and we try and impose ourselves on them. Yeah,
the evidence of the Rotherham game is they like to get it wide a lot. It's very much a definite tactic of theirs.
Yeah, they've done that all the time, whether it's been two wide men out there, or then they've changed and had one of the wide men coming inside and the full-back takes his place. So they've still got the set positions they like players to be in, and the width tries to stretch the opposition. But yeah, so like I said, we know what we're facing. We've got good players, final third, and like I said, they're up there for a reason. They've not lost in a long time, so it's our job to try and change that.
Ollie Norwood's just been talking about the kind of minor target of being top going into the World Cup break. It's quite the. It would be quite the target to hit, wouldn't it?
Yeah, well, it's possible for us, isn't it? But let's not look further ahead than this game. You know, it's there for. We've got 3 games. The fact we're playing top of the league, I enjoy it. We like it. Home game. It's going to be a good atmosphere. Cameras are there, but Burnley will be saying the same. They'll be well up for it. They know they're coming to another team who's up near the top. And why wouldn't they be looking forward to it? Like I said, the form they're in, the confidence will be high. So yeah, I'm sure it's going to be a good game.